Hello and welcome back to everybody's favorite semi-annual Hyperdrive Hour episode podcast. I realize that I framed that or whatever. It's just this. Sonata, say hi now.
Hi.
You were supposed to say hi now. Thank you. No, Marin, say hi.
Instructions unclear. Howdy, my name is Marin, also known as Sick Dr. Art on all socials. I'm excited to talk about the war and the stars today.
Marin, I said say hi.
Fuck you.
Donovan, say hi right now.
Right now.
Yes.
See, I'm the only one here who listens to instructions.
I wasn't aware we were
Fuck
playing
off.
Justice Says.
Uh, so we're here. The premise of today's episode is just well, when we planned this one, I was gonna have some cool witty intro about like how Dave Filoni got promoted to CCO of Lucasfilm, and it's like, oh, if you were promoted in his stead, what would you do? And then I realized that, as I was about to say this, that news happened like a month ago at this point. It's not really recent. But yes.
We came up with the idea when that was recent.
Yeah, actually, I think it was before the
Directly
news.
on top of news.
Yeah. The premise. Yeah, the premise of the episode is just that we're all gonna, say whatever media that we'd like to see in Star Wars in some capacity. Lay out a premise, explain it a little, talk about it, hate on it, veto it, write a bunch of hate news about how Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy are beefing in Lucasfilm because of these projects.
Disney ruined Star Wars, blah blah
yeah.
blah. All that. Standard fodder.
Kathleen Kennedy is being kicked out because Dave Filoni's chief creative officer now. Anyways, Sonata, you're first.
Title this episode inflammatory.
Throw me right into the flames, why don't you? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So, I got this idea while I was just going through my usual rewatch of all the films, and an idea just kind of sprang in my mind while watching episode 1. We've had, like, a game based off of it, but we haven't had much else really looked that deeply into it. I would like to see, like, a TV series focused around pod racing. And all of like the drama and the antics and whatnot that would entail.
Wait, that would actually be really cool. You like follow. I can imagine it as like a documentary that follows different pod racing teams.
Yeah, like Poggers Champion, Glove all those stars.
I was thinking just Top Gear. It's just you hire Jeremy Clarkson for a few episodes and then make him talk to pod racers. That's it.
That's the
No,
whole
I
series.
like that idea. That could be really fun.
Yeah,
Either as like a documentary or a drama.
I kind of wish that Star Wars would take an approach like that sometimes, where it's not like always super serious. Here's found family trope for the 4 millionth fucking time. Here, let's have some fun with, you know, a news piece on pod racing as like a limited series on Disney Plus or something. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be so fun. I would love that.
Yeah. Following a couple specific teams across races on different planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we don't get too terribly much fleshed out about pod racing. I mean, they have like an offhand mention that they do it on Malice there, but
There's
you know,
also the mention that humans are rarely ever competitors.
Yeah.
yeah, because it's so
We get
damn
Owen
fast.
Wilson as one of the drivers. Like a podcast.
He is speed.
Sorry.
He is speed.
Pod racers.
None of that came through, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry. Can we just get cars, but for pod racers?
You know what?
And-
I'd finance that.
Just the
Yeah.
cast of cars all playing pod racers.
Please.
No, it's actual pod racers. They have the fucking faces on them and everything. Like
God.
it's there's nobody in the cockpit or anything. It's
It is just
The mouths are just like the electrical current between the engines.
Could you imagine you get the cast of fucking cars though to all be pod racers? Do you imagine that's when fucking Michael Keaton enters Star Wars is because he's a fucking pod racer and not anything else cool?
Yep.
There you go.
please.
Oh,
I would love that.
awaiting endpoint unable to connect in some voice channels has just been reported on Discord.
Oh, whoa!
Ah.
Discord having issues? This is the first we've heard of it.
Discord having issues? That's unheard of.
Yeah, so if you're
Cool.
watching this in the comfort of your home, and the overlay is not here because I was too lazy to put it in post, we were having issues. Even if the overlay is here, everyone's gonna be a lot out of order from normal because Discord's being a bitch. So that's our at-home disclaimer.
Yeah, good idea, Sonata.
I really do like that idea. That's fun. And you could, I mean, since the concept itself is really basic, you could take it in a bunch of different ways. Give me an office style show about pod racing, even though I hate mockumentaries.
That was actually the first idea that popped in my head. Was just like
Hell yeah.
One of the things that I had in my head was just whatever happened to Sebulba after he lost that race against Anakin. I mean, that had to have been a blow to his career.
Well, I mean, he's still around post Endor, so you know.
True. He flies an A-wing at some point or something.
Yeah, he helps Lando fight the Empire or something at some
He
point.
does?
Yeah,
What?
some like offhanded like comic bullshit. In Legends, he raced Anakin again.
Yeah.
As Vader, right?
Yeah, I think it was Vader erased and. Whatever. I think it was also a comic leaves it really ambiguous as to who won. Like, there's no clear-cut winner.
That's funny. Who's next? On the dock.
You're next, Marin. I'm just going down the list and wrapping back around to me. I
I'm
yap
next.
enough already, so I didn't want to start.
No, that's fair. My idea is another show. It's a series. It would be like an 8-episode mini-series. Each episode would be like an hour to an hour and a half, and it would be about the sacking of Coruscant. In the
which
Jedi
sacking?
Order.
Which sacking of Coruscant? Which
The
you want the
Jedi
Darksaber
one.
one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
there would be 3 like character POVs. You would have a character that's a Vizsla trying to get the Darksaber back. You would have like a Sith lieutenant, and you would have like a young Jedi Knight, and those would be the 3 POVs. And so like the first 3 episodes would all be like set up to what's happening, and then you've got 4 episodes of the actual Battle of Coruscant, and then you would have 1 episode for the aftermath of kind of what happened. And I just think that would be like a really cool idea to kind of get into all the psyches, like get into the politicking beforehand, the strategy and the terror of the battle, and then the politicking afterwards. I just think that could be a fun series. And in my head, it's the maturity level of like between Andor and Game of Thrones maturity level, obligatory Game of Thrones reference.
Don't worry, I was getting there. If not you, I have some cooking.
Oh, you've got some cooking?
I've got some cooking.
But yeah, that would be my idea. Or just I don't know. that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I mean, that's a pretty interesting idea. I would like to see how they do a lot of stuff in that era. Just an expansion of Old Republic stuff is just generically good.
Yep.
Because even
Aaron,
in Legends, there isn't as much as one would like.
Mhm.
do you have any casting ideas? Did you think about it
Oh.
enough?
The Sith lieutenant would preferably be a male, and he's like a human male. I mean, obviously the actor is gonna be human, but the character itself would be a human as well. Uh, and they're like early to mid 20s, so someone who's like really still kind of new to this.
Timothy
They've got
Chalamet.
of them. What?
I said Timothy
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet. Why was he my first thought too, though?
Because he's like one of the only young actors I know.
I know, it's like in my head, I was like, he would look like Timothy Chalamet though. He would look like whoever the fuck he plays in Dune. That's what that character would look like. And then
Fucking Paul Atreides getting known as whoever the fuck he is in Dune.
I still haven't seen Dune.
It's an alright movie. I wasn't like blown away by it, honestly.
Yeah. The Mandalorian, I think, what cinematic is it where there's like a redhead Mandalorian chick?
That's the other sacking of Coruscant, the other big one.
Who's acting for
From Star Wars:
There
The
are way
Old
too many
Republic.
fucking Coruscants, Christ.
Well, that's what happens when you make it your fucking capital.
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
Perhaps they should stop putting the bags so close to Coruscant.
I get it.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian would probably be someone. The one thing that I want about all of these characters is that all three of them would be underdogs. So, like, not a super high ranking, people that you wouldn't expect. Like this random kid who happens to be a Vizsla just so happened to get the Darksaber back. And everyone's like, oh shit, well, good for them. And this random Sith lieutenant kid who probably ends up dying, I don't know, is like surprisingly good at their job. And this young Jedi Knight kid is just like trying to just survive. I don't know. Those were my ideas.
Good Lord, Timothy Chalamet. I could see it.
Timothy Chalamet.
I could see it too.
I hate that I can
Do
see
y'all have
it.
any ideas for the other two?
I mean, not really, if only because, like, I can't think of many people that... Like, I guess the first question I have to ask you, Marin, is, would this be live action or animated?
Most... It could go either way. If we wanted to do proper, like... I've been thinking in terms of casting live action, but an animated show would honestly probably lend better to the spectacle parts of it. It just wouldn't be taken as seriously as an adult show, as a person who works in animation.
Yeah, but, like, it doesn't help that most of the names I know are connected to voice acting as opposed to regular acting.
Yeah. Yo. So what voice actors would you cast for these characters? I think the Mandalorian, I think I want to be a female. The Sith a male, and the Jedi can go either way.
I mean, the Mandalorian, Jennifer Hale's a solid choice.
Oh, I don't remember.
Jennifer Hale doesn't do young very well, though.
I mean,
she's great and all, but Bastila, decidedly middle-aged. Jane Shepard, middle-aged. Satele Shan, grandmother.
To be fair, Satele is old. Satele's got some wrinkles in her face. She is old in SWTOR. But yes,
I'll probably biased, but I wouldn't call 29 particularly young.
Ouch, Sonata. You gonna take that? I know you're getting
My God,
close.
what are you saying? He's not middle-aged.
I wouldn't call it young.
My idea goes to Shermie Lee, who's the voice actress for Female V for The Mandalorian.
I mean, if I knew anything about that person or character, I may agree with you or disagree.
I played Cyberpunk
God.
2077 as a female character, and I don't remember the voice, so...
It's
Nice.
It's a good fit, I think. It can be
Oh, God.
it can be rough enough that it makes sense.
Marin, I've got your
Yeah.
live-action Jedi. If you want an underdog-looking kid-like character, you cast Thomas
Mhm.
Brody Sangster.
Who?
Jojen. Because that's like a 30-year-old dude.
Oh,
He's not
you're
young,
right.
but he looks
You're
young.
right. That is, yeah, he still looks like a fucking child. You're right.
Hezbollah.
Maybe.
Sorry. No, I could see it depends how you'd want to take like your Jedi story during the sacking of Coruscant, but if you want to make it this, because the way you described it, I also, because I mean, it's such a big deal that the Sith have made it there, and if he's an underdog character, he's probably a little scared. He's probably a little young.
Oh,
He's a
yeah,
little scared.
all the time. He's like, what the fuck is happening? Why
I
did you
could-
put me in charge of anything?
I
I just
could-
became a Jedi Knight. What the fuck? That's like,
Yeah, I could see it work. Also, obligatory Game of Thrones reference number 2.
No.
Maze Runner reference as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch those movies though.
I did. They're not
I-
worth related.
I read the books.
The books were mediocre at best.
I thought the books were all right for
The first one was fine.
young adult literature.
Beyond that, it kind of went off the rails immediately. But anyway, back to what we should be talking about.
Well, now I want to go. The first actress that popped into mind for a live action female Mandalorian was Florence Pugh.
I'm deciding if she strikes me as a Mandalorian or not.
I feel like after seeing her in Marvel properties, she could definitely pull it off. But she would be a sort of like, maybe I'm a little bit too overconfident for this. And then reality hits her in the face. It's a maybe.
Are you
I'm also
are you
thinking
still
of
trying to say that again?
I'm also thinking of her role in Midsommar.
That's a name I haven't heard in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Smile and nod, Donovan. Smile and nod.
I don't.
This is, in fact, the first I have heard of this person.
You've never heard
well.
of Florence Pugh? You've
That
definitely
is-
seen her.
That is what I said. I have never heard of her.
Hold
Have
on.
I seen her?
Almost certainly.
I'm on her IMDb. I have not seen any of these
What?
things.
Well, I'm talking about her as a person.
Yeah. Donovan saw her walking down the street the other day.
Oh, of course.
That thing.
I think the only two things I've seen her in are Black Widow and any other associated Marvel project, and
Hawkeye, yeah.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's in Oppenheimer too.
She was in Oppenheimer. I remember that.
Haven't seen any of this. Fun.
Oppenheimer's good. I think another possible voice actress for the Mandalorian POV. I know some people in here have watched Ruby. I can't remember who has and hasn't, but Barbara
Not
Dunkelman,
me.
Yang
Yep.
Xiaolong.
Yep.
I mean,
And
I
it's
know
my
who
turn.
Barbara Dunkelman is.
Yeah.
She could do it, yeah.
If we wanted to go voice actresses, then, or if we wanted to go voice actors and such, I think that could work. Also, we said voice actors, and I automatically thought of Matt Mercer as a Sith Lord, and I think that would be the ideal. And I think it's funny because he's also been Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, man has played Ganondorf. He could do it.
Do we know who, like, the Jedi Grandmaster is during that time period? I don't think we do.
I
don't
do
know.
not believe we do. No.
We got a good role for Keith David then.
I mean, Keith David's kind of a requirement.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
Were it so easy.
I'm trying to think about other other people that could be characters in this particular show.
Alright,
As much
big ticket item. Who do we cast as Darth Bane? Because you can't do this time period without mentioning Darth Bane.
Yeah.
Or,
hold
you know,
on.
having him.
I mean, didn't Mark Hamill voice him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Hamill voiced Darth Bane. Take the live action
Um,
approach, though. Who plays Bane in live action?
Live action's
God.
tough.
Tom Hardy, because I said Bane. There you go. Sorry.
No.
You motherfucker.
He was born in the darkness.
Molded by it.
Let's see.
He didn't see the light until he was already a man, and by then it was nothing to him but blinding.
Who plays Ruth Bolton?
Ah, fuck.
Oh, we're gonna
I'm
do
looking it up right now.
reference number 3 already.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
fuck? You're leaving nothing
They're
for
the only
me.
actors that I can think. Michael Mc something that is Scotch Irish.
El
name that
Hatton.
I cannot pronounce. It's Irish. I think he could be good for a possible Darth Bane if we wanted to
Huh?
take it less like the cackling evil and more of like the subdued.
I'm trying to. Bane himself seems to be more of the, at least from my interpretation, seems to be more of the like not maniacal evil, but you know.
Cold calculate. I mean, his whole thing is do the rule of 2, so we can
Yeah.
spend a ton of time secretly training, powering up.
Yeah, that's not maniacal evil. If
I think
we want physicality, we could also go for Liev Schreiber, who
Okay.
known for Sabretooth.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think I could see that.
That could fucking work. I'm trying to think about other characters because I'm trying to think about like a Mandalorian that's more up in the ranks. As well because we have our Jedi, we have our Jedi Grandmaster, we have our Darth Bane. Who's Mandalore at this time?
So the timing that Star Wars gives is weird because I don't think Tar Vizsla had that much time with the Darksaber between when it is stated to have been created and the war. So it's a fair chance that he's died recently. And I think that might be an interesting angle. The Jedi don't hold on to the lightsaber for that long, but they have it. And everybody's kind of just pissy over it.
Struggle.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. I like that as a sort of like, especially because you have 3 episodes of build-up. The biggest part of that build-up might as well be the Mandalorian power struggle of holy shit, Tar Vizsla just died and we don't have the Darksaber. Yeah.
Another thing that show could do is, you know, establish how it came to be that the Darksaber actually determined leadership.
Yeah.
Look at this kid and go, holy fuck, this guy had the fucking nuts to rob the Jedi Temple. And he's got a cool weapon.
Prove it,
Like-
you're in charge now, kid.
Yeah. Anybody with balls that big, you might as well. Which I think would be interesting, because you said you wanted an aftermath episode, and I think that'd be
Mhm.
really interesting. The sort of classic shot of like the person holding the weapon up above like the crowds of people.
Yeah.
It'd be cool imagery to see them mix up. I could see the show just launching into a second season as well to continue because the sacking of Kurdistan is a very small part of that war.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the Sith blow themselves up with a thought bomb. And
That could
then,
be
So,
an interesting second season.
yeah. But, like, if it doesn't get picked up for a second season, you have a pretty conclusive
Yeah.
story there, which is nice.
That was the plan would be just one season, just the sacking of Coruscant. But if it got greenlit for more, then there are places to go.
Yep.
all right. We've discussed Marin's pretty heavily in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that me or you next, Justice?
It's you, Donovan.
All right. So I know for a fact that this is the only game that is being
Yep.
suggested.
Ooh.
Operation Nightfall. The attack on the
Oh.
Jedi Temple by the 501st and Darth Vader. And you are a Padawan.
Oh no.
Oh,
I want
God.
an Alien Isolation style horror game. Where you're
Oh
just
my
playing as a
God.
Padawan, just trying to desperately escape, doing whatever it takes. Moral quandaries. Do you kill these clone troopers that you've basically grown up knowing will protect you, but are now trying to kill you? Does the player character even escape? Because if I recall correctly, Alien Isolation has a game mode you can turn on, where things like, say, any microphones you have plugged in are on, and help attract the alien and say the normal ads in the level to you. I want mechanics like that in there.
Oh, like proximity mic shit.
Yeah, well, yeah,
so
I-
there's
Technically
two.
proximity mic,
So I'm
but-
thinking two game modes. Like there's that story mission where where you are some random Padawan. I don't care what the outcome of their story is, but they are desperately trying to escape from Vader. And then there's the multiplayer where it's like an asymmetric survival thing, like similar in spirit, I suppose, to Dead by Daylight,
yeah.
where one player plays Vader and gets that power fantasy of running around hunting down probably teenage Padawans.
Everybody finally gets that Youngling Hunt game mode that they've been asking for in Battlefront 2 for like fucking years now. I mean, I feel like you could even go like the Lethal Company route as well, where it's like you have your story mission, you have your asymmetric multiplayer where somebody plays as Vader, and you just have
Yeah,
like
and then
a multiplayer game mode where you're running from like clones and occasionally Vader and just trying to do shit.
Yeah.
And then you can make it a live service game with a battle pass and expand it into other maps outside of the Jedi Temple. Dude, easy money. But no, I mean, you could.
Reddit
Play as
money,
Ayla.
there are other Jedi temples, theoretically.
Yeah, other temples. You could even do like towns where you have a situation similar to that random Jedi that happened to end up on Tatooine that you see in Kenobi. You haven't watched Kenobi.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be a Padawan. It could just be him finding Jedi. Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
That is a game that, assuming the studio making it was of decent enough like reputation, I might actually consider pre-ordering.
That would
Donovan
be.
Game Studio.
Look, all
I know what
I'm saying-
what game my team has to do next.
all I'm saying is that Creative Assembly sometimes knows how to make good games.
Yeah,
Total, not so much,
I was
in my
playing
opinion.
one earlier.
But Alien Isolation, if they could pull it off.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. No, I'd be.
It was like,
What sort of? Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I was thinking like it'd be interesting trying to, because obviously Vader isn't going to be a purely physical enemy, right? He's gonna have
Mhm.
like, there has to be some interaction with the Force. I'm not sure what form I'd want that to take.
Mhm.
Like I think it would be, obviously it's gonna play a role in whatever death animations there are for the player character.
Yeah.
I mean, if
But I-
somebody's not getting force choked,
Yeah. I do think it'd be cool to have instances where like Vader can like use the Force to just rip you out of hiding and force like a chase scene kind of thing.
Ooh. Yeah,
Like if
I
you're
was gonna.
say you're hiding in a locker, if he spends too long, if you spend too long in that hiding in that locker while he's just generically nearby, he can reach out with the Force, rip you out of the locker, leaving the locker open, not allowing you to hide in it again. Which means you have to move cover or evade a chase, depending on where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd
I like
definitely be
that, 'cause I was
fun.
about
Yeah.
to. I was about to ask about like what sort of mechanics you would have as a Padawan. Like, could you distract enemies, or like, could you distract clone troopers by like
Oh,
force
yeah.
throwing a small object
Uh,
or something?
I feel like force throwing a small object, actually picking up and throwing it yourself, would also be an
Mhm.
option. Because I think using the Force would probably attract Vader.
Yeah.
So the throw would be better, more accurate, go farther, attract more attention if you use the Force.
But there's like
But
a
you also
chance
attract
that.
Vader if you do.
Yeah.
You can mind
That
trick
general
clone
kind of thing.
troopers.
Yeah.
And that
Mind
clears an
tricks.
obstacle.
Theoretically, force enhanced jumps and some minor amount of force speed to represent a sprint.
Hmm.
Again, I'd imagine using much related to the Force would, of course, attract the baddie. But if you're
Yeah.
trying to escape him, it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
Just
just
like
getting
sit-
flashbacks to
Uh,
the Order 66 scene in Fallen Order and thinking, man, if you took away like all of the stamina that you have in that level, to where like you can deflect maybe 2 or 3 shots at most before you're downed.
Oh yeah, and I
Ooh.
100%, a lightsaber would not be part of the starting kit of the
You would have to like
Padawan.
get one.
You would
you
have
would
to
have to-
find one, probably from the dead body of another Jedi.
I was thinking, depending on if you're gonna go youngling or like whether you're doing youngling or Padawan, like there's like a story moment in the game where you find the dead body of your master and take his and take their
Yeah, Master or Crash
lightsaber.
Leader, depending on what age
Yeah.
the main character is.
I think that introduces interesting just alternate game modes though. Is
Mhm.
your difficulties tied to what you start as.
Yeah.
So if you want to play on little bitch baby easy mode, you start as like pretty old, maybe even a knight where it's like, yeah, I've got a lightsaber and I've got the ability to deflect a few more shots and do a little more with the force.
Yeah, it's like younglings, they are harder to detect by Vader, but they don't have as much force affinity, and they don't like maybe their movement speed isn't as fast as someone older, but someone older has more likely of a chance to attract Vader.
Yeah, they can't access all the little rat like vent spots and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or at least not as easily, yeah.
Hmm.
Because like I do imagine like traveling through vents would be a big part, rather like it is in Alien Isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and unlike in Alien Isolation, the vents would be one place where Vader cannot get you. But that's
Mm-hmm.
what the Force is for. Right? Imagine it's like with the locker situation I described, where he can just rip you out of the ceiling or something like that, or like out of the
Oh,
nearest vent hole or something like that.
I'm just imagining some of those death animations with Vader and how terrifying. Like I'm thinking about like tech demos in my head, like trailer footage. Oh, this is
I'm
so
just
fucking I love this.
once again going back to Fallen Order, just imagining, just remembering all the ways that Vader can kill Cal if you don't run from
Yep.
him.
Yeah, well, that's
Mm.
what I was thinking. Is you take that end sequence where like he is running across like the bridge, and Vader just kind of rips it up, and you just turn that up to 11. The lethality of that up to 11, especially
Mhm.
because you know.
Because like I'm one of the scenes in my head that inspired this really was just like panicked Padawan climbs into a locker, slams it shut, holds their breath, and then the next thing you see in the pitch black of this equipment locker is just a red blade suddenly cut through the center of the locker, just uh, cutting the locker in half horizontally, and then the camera just slips off to the right and falls.
Oh.
And then the last
Damn.
thing you see is just Vader's feet across the room as he recalls the lightsaber to him because he threw it across the room at you.
Yeah, I was thinking of something similar where like you're in a locker or you're like in a vent shaft or something. Vader force pulls you out of it and just straight into his lightsaber.
Yes, stuff like that. Um, the I will say that I'm a bit hesitant to include younglings at all, simply because
Right.
Mhm.
Killing kids is
killing children. Yeah,
there's a
uh,
reason they cut away from it, and
yeah. There's a
Yeah.
reason I specified earlier teen.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's not that it's you know I mean, we all know what happened there. It doesn't need to happen on screen.
Mhm.
Yep.
Though I suppose a a theoretical kid-friendly mode would be have the youngling be the main character, and then any deaths are just off screen.
They're just like cut to black, fade to black, whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
Just like Vader, like instead of all these fancy brutal Vader kill scenes, it's just Vader walks over, uh, rips the locker open, picks you up, and fade to black.
Yeah. I'm curious because we've been talking a lot about like Vader's mechanics. What would some of the clone trooper mechanics be? Like how big like how would their move what would their movements look like in this? Would they be like in teams of like 6 or would in some places they would have like huge patrols or would you
It
have to
would,
do like a
yeah,
Last of Us style stealth through?
there'd be a couple of different situations, especially earlier in the game. Clones would be a lot rare, like not necessarily rare, but they'd be alone a lot more often and spread out.
Mhm.
Because like a given, say, like the starter level might have like a clone or two. Uh, but what I particularly envision is them be a clone. If it detects someone, has the ability to put other groups of clones on alert because they're
Mm.
talking via their helmet radios.
Yeah.
And so a give one of the mechanics for the players to help navigate around the clones would be to take out a clone somehow and get their helmet radio.
Mhm.
So for any given level, you'd want to get a radio so you can listen into the communications. They'd have voice lines for where they're investigating. Uh, Obviously, they'd be able to shoot you if they saw you.
Mhm.
Um, but I think, like obviously they would be a threat to your life. But I think it's a matter of if they one of the things that is in my head for them is just if you trigger a group or a floor's clones enough, they
Mhm.
just summon Vader.
Yeah,
So it's
that makes
a
sense.
delicate balance between going out there, getting the helmet so you know where the enemy is and where they're going, or not
Mhm.
necessarily where they are. I'd imagine there'd be like a motion tracker or force sense or something like that for that.
Mhm.
To help give you at least a little bit of intel as you're stealthing around. But the
Okay.
helmet to get a little bit of their movements, but then balancing just the aggressiveness of your movement with with not spending too much time in a given area. Because I'd imagine the AI, it would be similar to Alien Isolation's AI, where it gets smarter and just is fed more information about your hiding spot the longer you're in a given area.
Okay. Yeah, and I
So if
imagine.
you piss them off too much, they summon Vader. There are given areas where Vader is always,
Mhm.
but if you piss off the clones too much, they can bring him in again.
Okay. I like that. And I imagine like you could probably take like one or two blaster bolts if you're like there are some clones behind you or whatever and you're running.
Yeah,
But Vader is an insta kill. No
almost
matter
certainly.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably either a force heal, which risks Vader, or there might be like med packs, or one, possibly both, possibly one or the other. It depends on how the dev chooses to do things.
Hmm.
But there would be some way to heal. Health would not come back on its own.
Okay.
Because I mean, you're an itty bitty Padawan. You're not that durable.
Yeah. Good old
You don't.
stimp cack.
Yeah, just give him some stimp cacks and you'll be fine.
I like this idea.
I
I would
like
play
this
it.
idea a whole lot.
I would also
I would-
play it, and I don't play horror games.
I would play the shit out of this just to see how far I could push the clones before they call for daddy.
Oh yeah, also, a very important question, what PRV are we looking at? Are we looking at over the shoulder, third person? Or are we looking
Absolutely first. You can't do anything
That's
in
what I was
that
thinking.
first.
100%.
first person? Yeah.
Because especially with like stealth horror games, like what I'm proposing, over the shoulder gives you too much power because
Yeah.
you can use it to like kind of look around corners.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, there'd be in order to make it so you can peek corners, there'd be like a lean function, or there'd be like a delay. Like they don't necessarily instantly see you if you just poke out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything third person in this instance just makes it too easy, I think. And honestly, not scary enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
It defeats the point of horror if you have all that extra vision. A large
Yeah.
part of horror is you don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm. I think the
To
sound
be-
design in this game would be so important. You
Yeah,
have
the
to get
sound
all of
design
the
would have to
controls.
be very, very good.
Just
Mhm.
faintly in the distance, the sounds
The
of
breathing.
plastoid plated feet just strolling around Durasteel hallways, the breathing echoing around you. You know he's in the level, but you don't know where he is until you just hear the familiar thump, 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 and bam, you're dead because he just ripped you out from underneath the
The-
A
table you're
fucking
hiding underneath.
locker.
I do like the
the
idea of you hear him no matter like where he is in the
Yeah,
level.
If
because
he's
of
in the
breathing.
level, you hear him at least a little bit because of the breather.
here's the this is an Operation Nightfall game though, right? he wouldn't be in the suit, nor would he have the red
Oh yeah,
lightsaber.
you're right. You're right.
Oh, that's true. He would be
Oh
Anakin.
my
What do you think
God,
his
you're
head
right.
Which,
might
He'd
be?
I
be
mean-
Anakin, so it'd be even more terrifying.
If
Um,
you're dealing with any non-Nightfall expansion levels, you definitely could do that with the sound design. But that's the thing to remember is that
Oh yeah,
um,
for Operation Nightfall, I guess that'd be a particularly difficult level then to do sound design for, because you need to be. But then again, if you don't have access to the helmet and you pissed off the clones enough to summon Vader in an area where he's not normally, then I guess you're shit out of luck.
I mean, you get to hear Anakin barking out orders
Oh yeah, yeah.
manually, and
I
that's
would
you.
like to hear just Anakin, like something happens, you evade Anakin, and he just gets really fucking pissed and just lets out like an angry scream. I feel like that's very Anakin-y.
Slightly destructible cover.
Huh.
Ooh.
If you evade him, he'll scream, and there's a chance that he just absolutely goes ape shit and destroys a bunch of cover in the area that you lost him in.
I like that.
Maybe for sound cues, his lightsaber's always on.
Yeah, which I mean,
Yeah.
it's an active combat zone. It makes sense that it would
Yeah.
be on.
His lightsaber's always on. There's always that low-level hum. But then if you have yours out, you can't always tell if he's around. There we go. There's the downside.
Oh.
And of course, your lightsaber would attract him
Yeah.
because it's a light source. So light would also probably play a large aspect, as I'd imagine a full-on assault on the Jedi Temple would leave power out in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
I do recall.
So
it
lots
being
of
mentioned.
emergency red light and a lot of just absolutely pitch black areas.
I do
Yeah.
recall it being mentioned that one of the first points in the temple the clones hit was the power, like the power room, that they could knock out lights.
Yep.
Because the clones have night vision in their helmets.
Yep.
Yeah.
In terms of enemy progression, at higher levels, you'd run into arcs and commandos with higher reaction times to you like doing your little peeking. They also get more accurate. They're able to chase you for longer, and they're more aggressive about following you to hiding spots and more likely to call Vader sooner.
Get my ass laid out by a commando using the anti-tank grenade attachment. Just
I mean, yeah.
You just hear a from across the room.
Just a
Thunk.
boom, and
Yeah.
and you're dead. That'd be fun on like a nightmare legendary style difficulty. Just
Yep.
he leans out, he's got the full on fucking glowing visor and everything because he's a commando, and he's dunk. They have the sniper attachments. There's just a
I think
gun
one
in general
terrifying
steering.
prospect would be at some point you have to go through an open area of the temple for some reason, and so one of the things you have to deal with are clone snipers.
What's it called? The Hall of
I'm
a Thousand
imagining just like
Fountains?
yeah.
Yeah,
Just like
You
the
have
main
the room.
hall.
The Room of a Thousand
Yeah.
Fountains.
The Room of a Thousand
I
Fountains. Yeah,
would.
you have to get through there. There are snipers posted and jet troopers or jump troopers.
They fly now?
I was just
So
saying
So if you're spotted, they'll jump to where you were shot, because like if you're spotted by a sniper, they'll shoot at you, and that'll attract the attention of all the nearby other clones on the ground level that you're also trying to sneak around from. For ease of ability to actually escape, clone snipers would probably have either have a spotlight or a laser sight.
Yeah.
I'd say laser sight. Laser sights make more sense.
Oh yeah, well I mean, the laser sight's more intimidating, but then does become harder to gauge what the aggro range for that is.
That is
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
So the advantage to Spotlight, even though it makes a little bit less sense, is that it clearly defines when you are seen. So at least from my perspective, as someone who does coding and plays video games, that's the reason I would go with a Spotlight, is just because it's, like I said, it's easier to communicate to the player what the actual threat radius is.
Mm.
Though I suppose
that is
with the laser sight, you could do like the light has diffracted enough to show like a small area of lighter red around
Mhm.
where the sight is landing. So that is theoretically doable as well.
Like, probably the laser sights would be for higher difficulties also.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because, like, the easiest difficulty, they're using the spotlights, but as you get, like, into the harder difficulties, I mean, obviously, competent snipers wouldn't use spotlights.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, and competent snipers wouldn't be using laser sights either.
I mean, true, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to sacrifice,
A little bit of
quote
realism.
unquote,
for gameplay.
yeah, for gameplay. And
Wouldn't it be interesting if there was, like, an optional, like, kind of like a skull in Halo, where you could set it to where there are no spotlights or laser sights?
Oh yeah.
If you really want to amp up the difficulty.
that would be like nightmare mode or some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
that's my
I mean,
idea.
I'd say that's a solid idea, though.
A stealth
Yeah.
horror game focused around being hunted by Darth Vader and the 501st Legion.
Yeah, I would play
I like it a lot.
out of that.
Yeah. I would
I
like
would
to
enjoy.
see a possible, like, if you wanted to maybe sacrifice some of the horror for just an interesting sort of playthrough, a multiplayer mode with proximity chat could be interesting.
That's what I was
So,
saying.
like,
Is you
could
just
work
make that?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Um,
don't know if that's sacrificing horror.
I think that's just
Uh,
adding another game mode.
That's just that's just
Yeah.
adding another game mode, and that's just adding another thing for Vader and the clones to be able to find you by.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could get real smart about it, and you could always, maybe at some point, if all four of these, if all four of the players have found, or I'm thinking 4 players because usually 4 players is the standard. Like, you all find clone helmets, and then you like tune into your own sort of radio, but. And so at some point, if you've progressed far enough in the level, you can communicate with each other, and then you can post yourselves up on other sides of the map and distract Vader or the troops or whatever.
Yeah.
It
Maybe
would make sense,
maybe for
though.
that mode, instead of just reusing story levels, do like some amount of like pseudo procedural generation. Like it'll stitch together like various tiles and stuff from the normal maps, and then just like have a rotating list of objectives, and you need to do like 3 sets of objectives or whatever to escape.
I do want to add on that at some point the clones should catch on that you're grabbing helmets to listen in on their comms, and they should change frequencies as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even monitor their old frequency, to see if anyone's dumb enough to transmit on it so they can track them.
There's a limit to how yeah, that is a good idea. There is that limit to what can actually be coded and is realistic. For
And also
yeah,
reasonable for gameplay.
yeah. because that could also be like one of the threats of arcs and commandos is they're not using headsets. Instead of having them like change frequencies or whatever, just different areas are on different frequencies, so to speak, and different enemy types either use different frequencies or don't use them at all. Because arcs can use arc hand signs. Commandos could probably do the same as well.
Yeah, that's true. And I was just thinking, if you take down too many clones in one area, maybe instead of it being instantly Vader, they just send in arcs or commandos to investigate.
Yep. Because something I could easily see is like arcs maybe don't use the radio at all, and maybe commandos use the radio, but it's in Mandalorian, so they can't actually hear. Like you can tell that they're doing something, you can tell that they're saying something, but you don't necessarily immediately know what they're saying.
They're fucking in Mandalore. Oh my god, that's horrifying and so fucking cool.
Of course, eventually we've got people like Marin here who'd know the language and could translate.
Yeah, but then that's just
very
as
niche.
lucky as that. That just happens to mean that your Padawan knows what it means.
Yeah. All right, boys. I'm studying Mandoa for my Star Wars Operation Nightfall speedrun. Wish me luck.
Yep. Good idea, Donovan. I really do like that idea a lot.
Thank you.
I would play that video game and then probably be very mad at it because I'm bad at video games.
True.
Professionally
You
bad,
are.
in fact.
Yes.
I don't know. You don't get paid for it, do you?
No.
Decidedly
Although I
not
wish.
professional.
Go to hell, both of you.
I'm already here. I'm in the fucking Hyperdrive Hour podcast. This isn't even the voice channel today. It's a fucking call.
I'll be in hell in approximately a week. Yeah, about a week.
Christmas time, baby.
No, I mean there's a place
Time.
called Hell, Michigan. I
Doxed.
have to drive through it to go home.
Doxed.
That's be funny.
Actually, do I have to drive through it? I think I drive near it. I don't think I.
I thought I remember there being a place in Michigan named Hell.
But I could make a detour just for you.
Okay. Justice.
Alright. My ass is mildly cliche. The final one. Give me the KOTOR games as a TV show. Now, there's two ways you can opt to do this. Because I'm thinking 3, maybe 4 seasons. One is the first season starts with a retelling of an adaptation of KOTOR 1's events. Modified to fit within the canon continuity a little, modified for TV purpose, but telling the story of, from the Endar Spire to freeing Bastila on Taris and Taris getting destroyed, and then the main character getting trained as a Jedi on Dantooine, and then going through all the star maps. And you could definitely tweak the star map storyline, because I don't know if I want to sit down and watch 4 fucking episodes of them finding a star map on each planet. But and then everything that builds up to the final battle. If you start with KOTOR 1 as your first season, you preserve the banger ass twist. And that would be such a fun twist to do in a TV show. And that the main character that you've been witnessing throughout the entire show has been Revan all along. And I think that would be I think if they did it right, that would be one of those TV moments. And then, you pick up season 2 with KOTOR 2, and you're kind of like, all right, well, what the hell's going on? We just learned about Revan, everything's changed though, and you're kind of getting the gaps filled in with all these, new characters, and they talk about like, oh yeah, well, Revan's gone. He disappeared. And then you do season 3 that way, which picks up with kind of the storyline that they were gonna do with Revan and the Jedi Exile in the Unknown Regions fighting the Sith. I adapt it for your own purposes from the Revan novel in SWTOR and make it a little better, hopefully, because I didn't like the Revan novel, and SWTOR suffers from the Revan novel's existence, I think. Or you insert a season at the very beginning that starts with the Mandalorian Wars. You just can't really do the Revan reveal if you start with the Mandalorian Wars and show Revan in that, unless the first season didn't follow Revan and it is still largely you see the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that I think if you wanted to do the reveal, you get you do KOTOR 1 as season 1, for like 8 episodes or something, and that's a lot of like you fill in on the Mandalorian Wars through background details or conversations about it as you build up to the reveal that, look, this guy, he's actually the big Sith Lord that everybody's been talking about. That would be what I would want out of a TV show centered around the games. So I would like them to go back in time. We need to stop going forward in time. We need to stop dealing with the fucking original trilogy era, because that is so saturated at this point. I think the Clone Wars is even a little saturated. Just 7 seasons of a TV show. Go before the Phantom Menace, please, please, please. Go backwards. Go backwards, please. Do more backwards. As for casting, I don't know that I have a lot. The insanely, ultimately, Omega-based decision would be to make Revan non-binary and cast a non-binary actor. Disney would never fucking do that. So, my other pick is you put fucking Kit Harington in the role. Because Kit Harington has the physicality that Revan is shown to have in SWTOR. And, when you write him a script that actually works, Kit Harington isn't an awful actor. And I think he's got the stoicism that Revan has. Just, I swear to God, if there's ever a line that says I don't want it in there, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.
I do recall like a popular
Don't
fan
say it.
casting
No.
for Revan.
No, do not say Keanu Reeves. I will kick you.
We will.
Okay, fine then. A popular fan casting for Revan is He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Keanu Reeves is such a terrible choice because Keanu Reeves is as old as bones at this point, and Revan is not old. Second off, Keanu Reeves can't fucking act. He just can't. I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves can't fucking act.
My general opinion on Keanu Reeves is that he's always just Keanu Reeves. He's not John Wick. He's Keanu Reeves as an action hero.
Yeah, and I think in John Wick that works. John Wick doesn't need to do a lot. Yeah.
But I can't separate John Wick from Johnny Silverhand. There's no separation there. And there's no separation of those two from Neo. They're just all the same person to me.
Yeah.
To me, they're completely different. I see very few similarities between those 3 characters. I suppose the 2 that are most similar to me would be Neo and John Wick, but I think Johnny Silverhand has more character to him.
I think their portrayals are all the exact same. I'm kind of Donovan on this one.
No, you're good. Another possible casting option for Revan could be Cillian Murphy, I think.
Too old.
Is he too old now?
Killian
He's
Murphy's kind of
little
old.
on the old side, and
Okay.
I don't know if he has the right physicality.
He's almost 50. He's 47.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I guess it was just this one picture that I found of Cillian Murphy where he looks really. Yeah, this is young Cillian Murphy.
Young Killian Murphy, maybe.
Because I don't
Yeah.
think we want Thomas Shelby to be. I don't think we need that kind of physicality. I think we need a bit different.
I think the solution here is obvious. We just go back in time and cast a younger Arnold Schwarzenegger as Revan.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking bad decision machine.
No.
Here.
I'd put young Arnie as Malik. Because Malik is supposed to be the muscle-bound hunk. Revan just needs to look and feel dangerous.
Yeah, no, I think, especially in any time we would actually see him on screen if you don't do the Mandalorian Wars, you kind of just need Jon Snow on the screen, I think. I think that's kind of how I always took Revan to be, is this, like, kind of stoic, maybe a little hard at times, but kind of stoic, decent guy after, he stopped being a Sith. That's, he makes some hard choices. Ollie, fetch me my sword. But, like, I think he could do it.
What about Richard Madden, who plays Rob Stark? Do you think he is a possibility?
I could take it.
I do
yeah.
I
could see it.
I think Kit Harington though is the best option.
Yeah, because I think people gravitate towards Keanu so much because there's always the fan art I see of him looking like the Old Republic model of Revan. Kit Harington has a pretty similar, like, he doesn't look like Keanu Reeves, but he looks like Revan. Like, they both look like Revan.
Right.
The only other person that I directly have in mind, and this is something that Marin mentioned, I think, our first episode, is Michelle Fairley as Kreia. Give me Catelyn Stark
Oh yeah.
as Kreia.
Yes.
That is the other casting that I want. Everyone else is kind of up in the air for me. But she is a very, like, controlled and calm person that, I mean, even in her portrayal in Game of Thrones, there's an edge of, like, secret lethality in there where it's like, if things were different,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could have realistically seen her becoming Lady Stoneheart.
Yeah.
So if we're doing KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, definitely.
Yeah.
There's really 3 other castings we'd need to figure out. Because for KOTOR 1, Bastila and Karth are so important to the story
Yeah.
that they need really solid castings. And I think Atten is the same way. Atten and Mitra, so actually 4.
Yeah.
Or the Exile,
And Malik.
technically.
Yeah.
Malik too, yeah. Because like with Scion and Nihilus,
You can slap anyone in there for the most part. Like,
yeah, Nihilus is just a mask too, so you
Yeah.
just need, like, you
Bro-
can hire some stunt double to do it, and they'd probably do well enough.
Bro speaks gibberish too. Like, he literally doesn't even, it's whatever. So yeah, Nihilus is Scion delivers some lines that I think you'd want a half decent actor behind, but
Yeah.
the Jedi Exile would need it.
Would you go with the Legends canon of Mitra, or would you invent your
Yeah.
own exile?
Nah, I see no reason to shake up because the KOTOR 2, I think, is largely structured as the heroine's journey. As in the female hero, not the drug. Sorry. No, no drug for you.
That's you we have to cook.
They do not cook heroin in that show. Sorry.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think leaving it Mitra. I mean, again, you can do the incredibly based, non-binary option, but I think we will see the casting of non-binary people in prominent roles. I don't think we'll see non-binary characters as prominent characters for quite a while yet. Yeah,
But
which is
God,
unfortunate.
Imagine
But
Emma Darcy as Revan.
I think give me
I'm
Emma
sorry, I
Darcy
don't
as
know
the
who that is.
exile.
Emma Darcy is. They play. Which you don't watch Game of Thrones, but they have played Rhaenyra in the new House of the Dragon show. I suppose it's not new anymore, but
They
excellent.
they
actress.
are they crush it. That'd be a really interesting dynamic there to have Kit Harington as your main male Jedi, and then Emma Darcy is as the exile. How old are they?
Nah,
31.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, 31.
I would have thought that they were older than Kit Harington. Kit Harington is 36.
What the fuck?
Kit Harington does not look 36.
He looks 12. Not actually, but
No, he looks like he's like 25.
yeah, no.
No, there we go. Fucking Game of Thrones references out the wazoo. Three of what the
They've got good
five
actors.
the five decided cast members for this. I made the joke when we were pre-planning this weeks and weeks ago, and I said I'm just gonna do KOTOR, but only Game of Thrones actors and actresses. Oh, we're doing good so far.
I'm trying to think about who would play Bastila.
I'd say Jennifer Hale, but she's a little old for Bastila.
She was a little old for Bastila 20 years ago.
How old is she now? She's
sorry, go on.
51.
It's really hard, I think, to even look up ideas for like this, because have you ever seen people fan cast shit and just how bad their picks actually are? It's just random famous actors that hold a mild physical similarity without any consequence to their acting skill or the way they act and the roles they play. Give me Dave Bautista as Malik. Sorry.
To be fair, I don't know if she's done anything other than voice acting. But we could go for Jennifer English.
Yeah.
Shadowheart.
Shadowheart.
Oh my god, yeah.
I would love that. I think that'd go hard. Shut up!
My man, you're getting called out.
She was my romance option. I'm sorry.
Let me do another quick look at how old does this fucker look? Oh, he looks old as sin. Okay.
Who?
No Raphael Sabarge for Karth.
No.
Can't do the OG voice actor.
Yeah.
Who would Karth be? Who
I actually
is Karth Onasi? The Complainer.
No.
Dude who plays Dolores Ed in Game of Thrones.
Dolores Ed.
How many fucking references are we going to have?
All
Dude,
of them. Fuck you.
It's not our fault that HBO is insanely good with their castings.
Yes, it is. I blame you for that.
Yeah.
How is it Justice's fault?
Exactly. That's the bit.
What do we
I
want to
think-
do for Dark Nihilus?
Literally, fucking put Keanu Reeves in the goddamn costume.
I was about to make that joke as
Keanu
well.
Reeves Dark Nihilus. I literally
Either that
just
or Nick
looked up-
Cage.
Cage.
Nick Cage as Darth Scion.
Yeah. that'd be funny. Ooh. The other $1 million question: who is Canderous Ordo? That would be a fun one to cast because you can play with some slightly older actors with that too. Casting Mandalorians are always fun. Just Pedro Pascal. He's just every Mandalorian.
Elegant. I literally just looked up a list of characters from Porto. Porto?
Ortho.
Fuck.
Gordo?
KOTOR. Jesus Christ. What are we thinking about Jahani? Who do you think could be Jahani? The
Oh God.
I mean, any cat would do.
I just bring
No,
in my cat
we just-
Susan.
We just non-character
Dark
Juhani
Holiday.
and Killer in the Grove, obviously. Like, um,
Oh. See,
I
there's a
don't know
lot of
anything about these
difficulty.
characters, by the way.
There's a lot of difficult casting decisions. Also, 100% don't remember her name. Juhani should 100% be the woman who plays Lae'zel.
Lae'zel?
yeah. I see her on TikTok all the time, and I cannot remember her name. That'd be.
I'm looking it
It's just all of our casting decisions are all. If they're
Oh,
not in
they're
Game of
so
Thrones, are they in Baldur's Gate? And if they're not in Baldur's Gate,
Wild,
no.
is her name.
Yeah. Obviously, despite the fact that Catherine Tabor is like 43 years old or something like that, you still cast her as 14-year-old Mission anyways, and I think that'd be really funny. And then you also find an excuse to stick a blue Twi'lek in Marin's setting to also be played by Catherine Tabor, because Catherine Tabor plays every blue Twi'lek that we ever see in anything that's not mainline Star Wars, and she also plays Padme. So, there you go. Because yeah, she plays Mission, and she plays Vet in SWTOR, and then she's Clone Wars Padme.
Oh, that's right. She did voice Vet as well, didn't she?
Yep.
One more chirp, little bird, and you'll regret it.
Yep. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Electric collar.
I think you just make Malik any young bald guy. Timothy Chalamet. There you go. He's Malik.
I mean, if Keanu Reeves
what's
is
he
forbidden from being Revan, does that make Tom Hardy forbidden from being Malik?
I think was that before
I know
recording?
who Canderous is.
Who?
Thanos.
John. Yeah. Okay.
Josh
I
Brolin.
generally I'm not for.
Cable.
Yeah. Generally, I'm not
Specifically Cable.
for. Because I feel like of everyone that we've listed as like a genuine suggestion, Brolin's probably the biggest. Like most famous. Because generally I don't try to. Kit Harington hasn't done a lot. That's Game of Thrones is kind of just the big thing that he's known for, because it was such a. But that was like, most of these people aren't. They're not Josh Brolin, who's been Thanos, Cable, the fucking guy in the Goonies. Yeah, all over the place. But yeah, I could see it. He's got the Cable. Yeah, bring that to the table, and you've got, because Canderous is an older dude too. Yeah, I see it. I think you just get to hide that pretty face behind a mask the entire time in the second season.
Alternative casting for Kreia could be Emma Gregory, who plays Minthara.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know what she looks like though.
Just from the vocal standpoint, I don't know what she looks like.
Oh yeah, I could see her in a hood with some white eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that J.K. Simmons is in Baldur's Gate.
He's
Anyways,
obligatory
that's
J.
Malik.
Jonah Jameson cameo. What, Malik's J.K. Simmons?
J.
J.K.
Jonah Jameson is Malik.
No, see, that's the other thing with casting Malik is you gotta remember Malik also has to be a younger person.
Yeah.
Because both Malik and Revan
Are supposed to be
are
around the same age.
young. Yeah, they're fairly young Jedi when they do the Mandalorian Wars, and from them quote unquote leaving the Jedi to the events of KOTOR, I think that's like 5 years. I used to have
Nihilus is J.K. Simmons.
It's gotta be not only do they have to be young, it's someone young who won't look out of place bald.
Yeah.
Or with a really, really shitty, close cropped buzz cut.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know who I'd pick for Malik. In a better world, I would have sat down and done more research for this, but final season is the so. But no, the two big ones are my Kreia and my how young is Bastila?
How old is Bastila Shan?
Is she
I don't
like
know.
mid-20s?
I think so, mid-late 20s.
I could type.
Well, that's supremely unhelpful.
He was born roughly 10 years after Mitra Surik. I don't know.
But then you go to the Mitra Surik's page, and born roughly 10 years before Bastila Shan.
Wikipedia, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember people being like, I remember discourse.
Bastila, mid to late 20s.
Yeah, well, because I remember some discourse about like, yeah, she's like kind of young, and so Revan's a weirdo for that. And other people are like, dude, it doesn't say it. It's not like Vet where Vet's 14, or not Vet. God fucking damn it, Catherine Tabor, you and your stupid blue Twi'leks. Yes, Mission. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, I know Mission is young, and so, but. For for Bastila, you give me one of the two Allison Hightowers, depending on how you want to portray the character. Give me either Olivia Cook or Emily Carey. I didn't realize Emily Carey is younger than I am. She's like she is 20 years old. Dude, I feel like a fucking failure in life.
You should.
Yeah, no, I know.
You're on this shitty podcast, and you could be doing literally anything else with your
I
life.
literally could be acting my ass off in an HBO production right now. What the fuck?
Okay. I keep going back to Nihilus just because his design is cool.
Yeah, Nihilus, you can literally stick a fucking mannequin in his outfit though. It never says anything.
I know.
besides gibberish. He speaks like a fucking
Trying
Death
to
Trooper.
Come up with dumber and dumber ideas for who Nihilus can be.
John Favreau.
John Favreau's one option.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni. Kathleen Kennedy. I love that.
I mean,
I don't
think
know.
there's very few of the three main villains in KOTOR 2. We've already resolved one of them. Nihilus doesn't matter very much. Scion, I think there's probably really only one option. Christopher Judge.
Okay.
Oh my.
I
That's-
No, I see that.
Yeah, hold on. I need to look more at his personality and traits because I don't know anything about these characters.
local Sith man, too angry to die. Nah, Christopher Judge could
Sleeps
do it.
with vibroblades.
Yes.
What?
That's
I don't know.
that's a
I want Idris Elba as someone because he's just so fucking. I love him.
Idris Elba is Zez Kyle. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He's one of the Jedi Masters in
Yeah. KOTOR 2.
which honestly you could probably retcon him into KOTOR 1.
Who would you replace?
You don't need to replace anyone. You just add him in at the fucking Dantooine Enclave. He plays Jar, because Jar was useless.
Yeah, Jar didn't do anything.
Oh my god, who do we cast as Vrook? Who can embody
Who gets to be
that?
Brooke Lamar.
Oh my... Oh no.
Oh,
The real villain of the KOTOR game.
You're so right.
oh my god, he looks so seedy and old and gross.
Yeah,
He's
that's
an-
the point.
He's a
you go-
fucking
You
You
bitch.
just hire
save his
characters.
life after he's been taken captive by a bunch of pirates, and his first thing he does is he chews you out for doing it.
Ew.
Let's not even talk about the part where he's.
Oh my god, he's Ed Asner. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I just saw that. Who does
Fucking-
that well?
Elrond.
Oh my god.
God, I
yeah.
can't fucking think of his name though. Hugo
I
Weaving.
can't think of his.
Hugo Weaving, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Another kind of big name to sit down on the table, I think. But
Yeah.
Elrond.
I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be a waste almost though. Pulling in
That's Hugo
someone,
Weaving.
pulling in, because they're neither way. They're not going to be there a lot.
Mhm.
That's true, actually.
You get like
Wait,
3
never mind,
episodes
hear
out
me
of
out.
him.
Wait, no, hear me out. Hugo Weaving kind of makes sense. Patrick Stewart.
Oh my. Okay, well you're making him real fucking old. Holy shit.
How old? Do they bother to specify how old he is?
No, I just Patrick Stewart would be really funny.
Yeah, all we know is when he died.
Who do you make? Well, who the fuck was the other Jedi? The one that was like almost cool.
All of them.
While you're
The
thinking
guy with the
about
2
that, I will
blue
be
lightsabers.
Right back.
The fuck was his name? The Onderon guy. Zezkael.
Right, Kavar.
Yeah. Who do you make Kavar then?
Do we
Keanu Reeves.
do we pull another Game of Thrones?
Absolutely.
I believe is Nikolaj Coster-Waldau.
Oh, you make him Jamie Lynn. I see it. I think I see. I genuinely see it.
In the more serious moments, he can do that.
He's because Kavar always struck me. He's kind of a badass that somehow is his own. Like you kind of see this badass in a resigned state where he's like, I'm doing what I can, but we kind of dispersed. Because I mean, Candace is like, yeah, we thought it was you who was gonna face us in the field, not Revan. And yeah, I could see that. Peter Dinklage is Darth Nihilus.
Jared Leto is Darth Nihilus.
Jared Leto, yeah, dude, that's about all he's good for.
Oh god. Who do we want to throw in as Atris?
Oh my god, that's a stunning performance that she'd only be there for like one episode. You don't really see her for anything else. Because in my mind, I frame that you frame that whole scene the same way, and then the council reveal afterwards is it would probably be in the same episode where it's, oh hey look, here's the record of you being kicked out.
I mean, there'd be 2 episodes she'd be in, really. The problem is this thing
she's a
called,
boss fight, right?
The boss fight.
Yeah. I forgot that she doubles as an actual villain.
That's
God.
who I was originally thinking for the actress of Minthara to play. And then the actress... And then Catelyn Stark is... Kreia.
Who can encapsulate such a stuck-up bitch like that, Donovan?
My first thought was you.
Huh.
I'm just trying to think of it, and it's... Because the problem is that I tend to like good actors, and I'm trying to not let my like for them... Because, like, I hate Atris with a burning passion.
I hate Atris, which is why I like Atris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Donovan, we did one of the siblings as Kavar. You do the other one as Atris.
You're so right. Oh my god, you're so right.
For context, Marin, we casted one Jaime Lannister as the Jedi Kavar. Cersei is Atris.
What?
Dude, I told you I can cast this entire show with the Game of Thrones cast, and not even as a joke. Ambiguously old because she's a Jedi Master on the Council, so she's got some years. And Cersei Lannister brings that stuck-up bitchage to the party. All right, sorry, Sonata, that we keep picking actresses that you just don't know.
Yeah, no, at this point I've just kind of tuned the rest of you out. I'll just...
Sonata's got his own casting going. Everybody's played by Keanu Reeves.
Everybody's played by either Keanu Reeves, and a younger Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you wouldn't pay money to see that.
Another possible option is Margot Robbie.
Nah, I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so either.
I've never seen Margot Robbie as like a stuck-up bitch. I've seen her as insane. I've seen her as Barbie. I don't.
I've seen her as insane.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I'm like, yeah, let's pick another option since we have done so many Game of Thrones people, but I don't know. That's a hard one. That's
I don't remember the actress's name. The ISB.
Pedro Miro?
Dedra.
Oh yeah,
That actress.
yeah.
don't know her name.
I was, yeah, Yennefer from
Like I'm
The
trying
Witcher
to
3.
stay out of Star Wars for these
Yeah.
because then it's double dipping. But it's a similar type of role in this instance.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
The only
The other problem is that Atris needs to be around the same age as Revan Malik and the Exile.
Does she?
She can be a little older, I think. Maybe not too much older, but also
Yeah, not too much older. but-
Lena Headey isn't. She's older than she looks, I think. So I think it's a case of like you can probably get away with it. At the same time, yeah, you don't necessarily. We're just spitballing at this point, you know, like.
Yeah, we've strayed far from the core castings.
Yeah, but these
I
are
have
all
indeed.
crucial characters to the storyline. Atris especially. Atris is like one of my favorite moments in any video game. Is just verbally sparring with her. I would kill to just see that dialogue on screen. I think just a good like 5-10 minute scene of them going at it.
You know who I think could also play Kreia since
Yeah.
I don't know. Meryl Streep, unironically.
No,
Are you
I've heard that
kidding me?
casting. It just feels cliche and overdone. And like, can we pick?
I think she could do it though.
Meryl
Even if
Streep's
it
a
is
good
overdone,
actress, but it's
Have
like
you ever fucking seen The Devil Wears Prada?
no.
That's watch that movie and then say no. I dare you.
I'm my reason for shutting that down is more of a holy shit. This is like one of the most immensely popular actresses of all time, unless I don't think she could do it. Margot Robbie was, and I don't think she could do the role of Atris.
I think if we wanted to go super popular, had all of the budget in the world, wanted to do big name, I think we could go Meryl Streep. But
I still
I
think
do think that
Michelle
Catelyn
Fairley
Stark
is
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cast
I think either
Sonata
one
as
could
Darth
work.
Nihilus.
Yeah.
I'd make a perfect Darth Nihilus.
Nah. Donovan, the real question is, who do we cast as Lieutenant Dolgren of the Telos Security Force?
I raise you a better question. Who do we cast as the hero himself, Prask Ulgo?
Oh, that's where we cast Keanu Reeves.
Yes!
You frame it for like 10 minutes as a colossal bait, as him being the main character, and he just dies.
You prologue a Game of Thrones that shit. Another reference. Sorry.
No, that's the thing that I like about those games is there's so many characters that matter. So you could sit here all night debating, like some whether it's the core cast of companions, like who are we casting as Handmaiden and Visas or Mission and any of the other characters from the first game that are way less cool than the characters from the second game. Jolie Bindo. There you go. Good, is it Jolie? Who the fuck even else is in KOTOR 1? Alright, who delivers the HK-47 lines?
Okay, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. I know he's already played a droid in Star Wars, but I think Alan Tudyk could make a good HK-47.
Yeah. I'm not... See, when it comes to like droid voices, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to reuse it. Like I'm less like, hey, you guys want to find a role for Amelia Clark in this show too, since we got Kit Harington, but yeah, 'cause she's already in Star Wars. But you know, like Alan Tudyk honestly could probably give the line delivery.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my my contribution to this is actually a game dev, not a voice actor. Despite the fact that he does voice work for the game.
Yeah.
Have any of you fellows played Warframe?
No.
I have 20 minutes on it on Steam.
I think I have less of it on Steam.
I highly recommend looking up just voice lines from the AI Ordis. He talks so normally and peacefully, and then breaks out into just this murder lust robot.
Oh.
And it's great, and I think he could. I think the voice actor Mike Leatham can do it as well, except he's primarily a graphic designer for the game. He does weapon art.
It's either that or you just rip all the dialogue lines straight from the KOTOR game files and just use them in the show.
I mean,
That honestly could work.
It really could.
If I don't get the speech about what love is, then we're canceling the show. No.
Don't hurt me.
No.
More. Sorry.
Alright, so we've talked about the actual games. We're pushing past that and going into Season 3, which is semi-uncharted water. To round this out, who do we cast as the Sith Emperor? Who's got imposing villain Ian McDiarmid, not Ian McDiarmid vibes? Who sits on the secret Sith throne out in the unknown regions on Drummond Cause?
Fuck, I forgot his name, but the guy who plays Thranduil in The Hobbit.
I'm looking for a name.
Oh, Lee
Lee
Pace.
Pace.
I forget, is he was he Donovan, did you read the Revan book by chance?
Nope. I wanted to for a while, but then I decided not to.
I'm trying to remember if he was like actual Sith species in at that time or not.
If
I
the
don't
Sith
remember.
Emperor is Tenebrae, then yeah.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, Marin. He body hops a couple times. I don't remember who he is during the time of this, which I guess it wouldn't be. You can modify it and change it, whatever. I don't even know if Star Wars canon realistically can handle the Sith species at this point with whatever the fuck they've done to the Sith. Well, Lee Pace actually wouldn't be a bad pick. That'd be an interesting pick, because he definitely gives me Emperor-esque vibes. Yeah, and he's... I feel like in The Hobbit, he's almost got, like... He nails, I don't know how to explain it, but that prolonged life look, you know, like...
Yeah.
He looks young, but he looks like he's experienced at the same time, which is not often. I don't know how else to explain it, but I think that's a good quality for a Sith Emperor who unnaturally extends his life.
And I mean, if he is the actual Sith species, then Lee Pace has done like facial modification stuff, like prosthetics and stuff before. So
put some
because he also
tentacles on his face. Who else does he play?
He's the villain for the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Ronan the Accuser.
Oh.
So are we?
The silence.
What kind of age range are we kind of looking for here?
I don't think it matters, honestly.
So we're just looking for good villain.
Yeah.
Like
honestly, yeah.
Sith Lord villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, conceivable Sith Lord.
Okay. This is probably the only Game of Thrones reference I'll ever make, if only because I know he was in Game of Thrones. There's also a possibility that this actor is dead. I wouldn't know because I don't really follow that circle. But what about Charles Dance?
I mean,
Oh my god.
you give Dance he's not dead yet.
No, he's
I just want to see him in something Star Wars. He's
Yeah.
got such a good villain presence.
he-
I don't know.
he would
I
be
don't know
good.
if I see him as the Emperor though.
Really?
I think that's me with the larger context of having played like all of Star Wars: The Old Republic, all the expansions and everything. The Emperor's kind of he's like cold and calculating, but he's also a fucking moron sometimes. Which is never a vibe I got off of Charles Dance, despite the fact that I got that vibe off of Tywin Lannister in the books sometimes. I could see him.
He does it in the Godzilla movie that he's in, I think.
What the fuck is he in a Godzilla movie?
thought he
He's
was
Godzilla,
in.
King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
part of.
he's
He
the
leads a
main villain.
terrorist cell that's intentionally letting Ghidorah free.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Wikipedia page right now. That's the only reason why I know that.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I guess I know what I'm doing after this. I'm going to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters again.
It's
That's
alright.
yeah, no, I've seen it. I didn't hate that movie. Oh, I vaguely it's coming back to me. No, okay. I can yeah, I think just being able to say, "Hey, it doesn't really matter of what age you cast them because you're casting a several hundred-year-old person." Now, I would not expect to slam Charles Dance in a bunch of Sith makeup if you choose to make him the Sith species.
Yeah,
Poor
I don't
guy,
think you could
but,
get him to do it.
Yeah, but I would do want to see Charles Dance in Star Wars. I think yeah.
There was like a popular fan casting of him as Thrawn for a while.
Mm.
I think he's
Yeah.
got the physicality and the voice to play Thrawn. I cannot see that dude as. I don't think his literal face. I don't know if I see that. I don't know.
It's like a 50.
Granted, this
I think
was
he has. If you look at animated Thrawn and Rebels, I think his face shape is similar, but I don't know. But Thrawn's
I'm less
already been cast
concerned
as
about literal face shape, but no, Charles Dance I think would have been a good Thrawn if.
I'm trying to think about other options for the Sith Emperor.
Christoph Waltz.
Well,
Okay. That'd be an interesting choice.
That's the thing. He's always an interesting choice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Oh my god! Who? What's his name? Fuck. Mads Mikkelsen, maybe.
oh,
Get the other Mickelson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He's already in Star Wars though.
He wouldn't be bad, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
already
is
in
already
Star
in
Wars.
Star Wars. He is.
Which I mean, so he's still an option, but like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, you know,
no,
caveat
no,
there.
casting. Yeah.
double
Okay.
casting is fine, but I will like add an addendum on and be like, well, it's double casting, so
Mads Mikkelsen is an option.
yeah, he's good. I like him. In the same vein, I wish we could use Ben Mendelsohn for something again because I really liked him in Rogue One, as Director Krennic.
Oh yeah. I looked at him and my first thought was that looks like John Mulaney's dad.
Yeah.
I know.
I genuinely don't remember any other very important characters from like the Revan novel or really the SWTOR stuff. So I think the Sith Emperor is kind of where you leave it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'd
We
want
all
that
haven't
story
even
to
finished
end.
the song
Yeah.
Charles Dance.
Charles Dance or Lee Pace. I like both those ideas.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
But we stretched this out. I was scared that when we started and sonatas took like 10 minutes, that we were going to have like a 45-minute episode at most. We are sitting at almost 2 hours, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I was a little worried though, and that's not to
be
like
fair.
trash your idea. It's just
Mine was super bare bones and could go many directions.
yeah,
Yeah.
nah, it's especially mine had some rigid guidelines where it's like,
Yeah,
oh hey
'cause
look, here's all these
story already
characters that
technically exists.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's everything, folks.
Yeah.
We will see you all next year. That is a joke, but maybe not. Wait. Actually, if we go bi-weekly, it literally will be next year, won't it? No, the 31st is a Sunday.
The 31st is indeed a Sunday.
So,
That's if we record.
if everything goes well, we shall see you once more this year. Nothing ever goes well.
No.
Nothing ever.
We'll
goes
see
well.
you when we see you. Goodbye, y'all.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.